Hello out there. My name is Laolu Akonde and you are on to Inside Sources. Today I'm skipping my take. Inside Sources. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Sources. Today we want to open the show with a discussion on the state of the polity. What is happening in APC, what is happening in PDP, and then what it is that ADC is turning out to become. To join me in that important conversation today, I have to my immediate right, Malam Baba Yusuf, a strategist, policy advisor, public intellectual, and the group CEO of GITC. Malam, welcome back to Inside Sources.
It's my pleasure to be here once again and always.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
To my far right, his immediate right, we have Mr. Etim Hetin, a veteran journalist, an author, and a retired banker. Hetin, welcome back to Inside Sources.
Nice to be back.
All right, let's start with you, Hetin. So APC has a new party chairman. We have issues with Kwakwanso. A lot of speculations that is coming. And then this past week, he makes a very critical statement about the president. The VP, Shetima, nobody is sure what is happening. How do you summarize the place and position of APC today, looking ahead to 2027?
The simple summary is that the party is angling to position itself as a winning political platform in 2027. APC realizes that it has to return the president, but at the same time, it's facing some challenges which it did not expect. Number one, APC did not expect that PDP will put its house in order and ready for 2027.
Okay.
Now,
PDP seems to be doing that.
They're on the way to doing that. They have a NEC in November, convention in December, and clearly, if everything goes well, they will emerge ready for 2027. Whether they will be strong enough to wrestle power from the incumbents is a different ballgame. But that is so far the fact that they are shedding off their problems is giving APC some concerns and worries. Now, second problem is that APC is still facing serious challenges in the north. They have not been able to get the kind of acceptability they expected from the north. With the death of President Buhari, the 12 million voters are in disarray, and APC is desperate to grab a big portion of it. And it wasn't by the fact that Dr. Kwakwanso is playing the beautiful bride. I don't know whether he's playing difficult to get or he's serious, but APC is so worried that they have not been able to bring Kwakwanso into the nest. They had promised him vice presidential slot, and he's turned it down. I think Dr. Kwakwanso will go down in history as the only man that has said no to President Tinubu.
If he
eventually will keep to his words. Okay.
All right. So we're going to come around, but I'm going to pose a different question to Malam Baba, and then at the end we will bring it all together. So I ask Etim to look at different point of view of APC. I want you to look at it from the point of view of PDP, and possibly, ADC, if in your view it is connected. Do you think that PDP is rebounding, and how do you see their prospect in 2027?
Well, I will still maintain my consistent position so far. I'm still not convinced that PDP will come out of this stronger. The signs are still not there for me, from my experience as a political apparatic, from my experience as a strategist and as a Nigerian who has seen different phases of politics in Nigeria and other places, because the dramatis personae are still people that are not ready to negotiate power, Prof. to sit down and look at the issues and address the common denominator issues. That would have given me the sign that they are going to go out of this, situation to bounce back. You have now a Seyi Makinde that is coming out to take, a very strong position. We have a Nyesom Wike who is still holding strongly so to the party structure in a way that is playing the spoiler, a factor for PDP. And then you have the veterans, with profound respect to them, the foundation leaders of the PDP, in the persons of Chief Bode George, in the persons of Professor Jenny Gara and others, who I really, really doff my cap for their consistency and still remaining in the party regardless of the challenges. Albeit they are becoming the proverbial godfathers of the party. No clout, no influence, no political structure to hold on to.
What makes them godfather?
No, a godfather could be old and lame, but you give him that respect of institutional memory, and you give him that reverence of quote-unquote grandfather. Sorry, I wanted to say grandfather, not godfather. Right, I'm sorry about that. It's grandfather, not godfather. And then you have the political godfathers now that have taken the structure for the right or the wrong reasons, taking different, positions. You have also a Governor, Bala Mohammed. And I want everybody to take note of this. That man has a game up his sleeve. And that game up his sleeve, yes, is going to disrupt this entire already unbalanced, political permutation.
Let's put it starkly, Malam. You believe that Bala Mohammed wants to be president?
Absolutely, yes. And he's not gonna back down, and he's going to be also a factor that why I said the PDP, bouncing back issue will be a very strong, is very concerning for me, because I intended to see at this point in time, like the ADC for me, even though there are issues with the ADC, to see that because it's a party that is an institution. Is the oldest political party in the Fourth Republic that has maintained the PDP.
That's PDP.
Yes, for it to have that experience and maturity to be played out now to say those critical stakeholders are now, coming together to iron out their differences. Rather, we are seeing, Seyi Makinde's position, became more evident in the last couple of weeks, rather than now seeing that position he was playing before, of somebody that's trying to make peace. But that being said, in politics, you never say never. In mathematics, we call it permutations and combinations. They are going to continuously increase. And then the experience and the political maturity of these people will be able to make them realize at some point that they need to align. The question is, will they align on time?
Very important analysis on both of you. I'm going to make a description of what I see. And then of course we bring in ADC, and then you guys will also comment. So basically we are looking at what might happen in 2027. So in my view, APC is still the party to beat. In my view, and I think what the president has done this past week, and we know he's the president, by picking Netanwe Iwata as the party chairman. Returning, the chairmanship to the North Central is a very smart move, because that was the agreement that even produced him in the first instance. Now he had shifted by bringing Ganduje, and then he seems to have corrected that. The challenge that he has, which Etim pointed to, is that there seems to be some problems coming from the far north about its acceptability. So APC has a problem in the north, far north, in my view. But I think the president is trying to wrap up the southern Nigeria, and that's why you see all these defections.
Yes.
And he's trying to also corner North Central.
Yes.
And then looking up to somebody like Kwakwanso in the Northwest to shake up things.
Correct.
We don't know how that will end up. Now, PDP, and then you guys will comment. PDP, in my view, has quite a few power centers that are opening up now. Madam called them the grandfathers, and I think that's apt because they don't have so much of a power. They are the ones that are trying to see that, look, let's take this thing. By the way, they've decided that it's going to the south.
Yes.
I think so.
ADC will pick Atiku. PDP is dangling the ticket to Peter Obi. They are luring him with it. He's likely going to take it. And of course, APC will feel the president to go for second term.
Right.
So we are almost going to have a repeat of
From
2023. Exactly that.
And that serves the president.
And that serves the president right.
Yeah.
In fact, Peter Fayoshe was on TV last night and he made this prediction. The president will win, Peter Obi will come second, Atiku will come fourth. I forgot who he said will come third. Not very sure, but certainly the president will win, I'm sure. I don't know where Peter Obi will stay, but like you said, the configuration is good for the president because the president has secured most of the South.
Right.
Even making forays into Southeast, which he did not do
before
in 2024 now. So the battleground state is the North Central, and the president is playing well there. If he gets the 17 states of the South, he needs just about 7 states up north.
Do you think that if Peter Obi is on the ticket, he can get the Southeast?
He will share the Southeast with Peter Obi. The president needs 25%.
Right.
He will share, he will take Abia. Anambra is, all the states in the Southeast, all the governors are already saying, we will support the president. Unlike what happened in 2023.
And you think that an Obi on the ticket wouldn't change that?
He will change that, but the president rather will do better than he did. My point is that the president will do better than he did.
2023.
Yes, in 2023. That means Obi will do a little less than he did. Yes, he probably will beat the president in most of the states, but the president will do well to get 30% in most of the Southeast states. And that's augur well for him.
For him. Okay. Madam.
Yeah, I agree with the analogy. I mean, your analysis with regards to the APC position. But what I think the biggest problem of APC now is not even the regions. The biggest problem APC will have is APC. And one of the biggest problems the APC will have that is APC is that cultural issue of managing success. Prof. Complacency is the word. APC is simmering underneath. Underneath it, there's boiling disenchantment and frustration.
Do you think that is mostly from the north?
Yes.
Okay.
That is one. Two, by the way, I need to say this on record. The conversation about the 12 million is in this area or some blocs have taken it. The message is, and the truth is, the 12 million votes of President Muhammadu Buhari, may God bless his soul, died with him. There is no votes to share. All the dramatic personages, all those political characters hanging around Buhari were actually leeching on his political capital to win election, even at state and federal level.
I think the man knew that.
And he knew that. And that is why you saw him not being loyal to any one of them. Because he knew they were leaning on him. Because in the North, in 2003 to 2007 to 2011, we had this phenomenon we call SAK, S-A-K. SAK means, like uniform. So the SAK concept started, in the North, especially Kano. So if Buhari is in a political party, people lean on that his so-called quote-unquote integrity, political capital, to join him to win election as underdogs. Malam Ibrahim Shekalo became governor in Kano State in 2003, and you had the likes later on of other governors and other, including El-Rufai, including Al-Makura, including senators and Federal House of Reps. And he knew that they were leaning on him to get this. None of them had any political capital. I want them to bring empirical facts to that effect.
True.
And they never made any effort to build any political structure. All the while they were leaning on him and leeching on him. And now he is dead with his votes.
That's a good point.
I am for everybody, I am for nobody. And that's the fact. So, hello, all those people that we are posturing now will now have to answer their name correctly, politically. Having said that, And that is a pointer now to the game of APC. Because it helped APC to win election in 2015. Whether we liked it or not, the Buhari effect, although highly eroded by 2023, still plays some role because he still has that awkward followership, whether we like it or not. But his demise have now opened a vista for APC. The hatred of some of the people for APC is not directed of bad governance of whatever, or the perception of Tinubu not liking North and that, which we are seeing. And that is the complacency. If the power of incumbency now intoxicates APC to the extent that they don't take care of their own down the party structure, whether it is APC bloc or even the ACN people and others that feel now they have been abandoned as we are seeing them moving away, or they grumble to us behind the scene, they will play the game of opposition politics of sabotage under the radar. And the North are masters of playing that game. And that is what we call wake de shinkapa, where you have rice and beans, you have a governor that will emerge in a party, but when we go to vote, we go to vote against the president. And that's the note for APC. But moving forward from there, apart from the complacency, is the delivery of good governance, a reality, dealing with security, dealing with cost of governance, dealing with the mandate, as it were, beyond the political narrative.
Right.
Because, like I said, the Buhari factor is out, and most of the followers, the garrison commanders, quote and President Bola Tinubu today, do not actually have that real political capital. They are selling him dummies. And I think he knows. And I think that's why he's focusing on Senator Rabi Musa Konkoso. Okay. And to respond to what Etim was saying, he is playing the bride to the highest bidder.
Yes.
That is why he's bidding his time.
Okay, I wanted to ask him, so who will be the beneficiary of the APC misfortune?
He's the only political leader in the North that now can guarantee you 100%, one estate, two, a block of 1 million votes. Atiku had almost Konkoso.
Okay.
Atiku had almost 7 million votes. But this positioning he is taking and leaving PDP and all these activities will determine whether he will retain that and get more, or it will erode and go to Peter Obi and President.
All right, so let's now talk as we close on ADC.
Okay.
And let's start from Eti. Now, I will make a short comment and then I'll push it to you, Eti. I think that the ADC people are not serious, and this is exactly why I think so. First of all, the setup. And up to now, I think they've been about a month now. There's nothing about the manifesto. Nothing at all. The best that you had is Bolaji Abdullahi, say that, yes, we are working on the manifesto. That's very bad.
Yeah,
so you guys tell us, you've told us that you've been doing this thing for like 2 years. That's what they said.
Yeah.
And then after 2 years, you don't have a manifesto. That's very, very bad. But even worse is the kind of people that they are throwing up.
Yeah.
Now, with due respect to David Mark, a soldier, a respectable soldier, David Mark does not inspire democratic confidence among the Nigerian people.
I agree.
And then you have people like Kenneth Okonkwo, and I've said this, and I'm going to say it again. You have people like Kenneth Okonkwo in your midst. That's the guy that you need to be pushing out. That's a new face. But they seem to be totally oblivious of this strategic insight. The best thing that happened to ADC is Aregbe, as the secretary.
Correct.
Because he has some experience about opposition politics. If they listen to him, he can make some things happen.
Yeah.
But hey, Aregbe is just one person.
Absolutely.
So I haven't seen their level of organization. I haven't seen them demonstrated, make any demonstration that they really want to help Nigerian people. That's it.
You are right. And besides, they also have another problem, which is the opposition they have run into within ADC itself. Unknown to them, perhaps it's known to them now, APC had penetrated ADC. And that is why you have people like Kachiku, Dumebi Kachiku, the former presidential candidate, now pushing back.
And they said that the man has been expelled from the party. Oh my God.
So they are now focusing on registering the party they had thought they wanted to register.
ADA.
That is where the focus is now. They know that there's problem within ADC, just as there was problem with SDP. El Rufai went to SDP initially and found that the executives there were all planted by APC. So ADC has serious problem, but we can only hope that they will recover on time. Either ADA will be registered for them, or they will get their house in order within the ADC himself. It's a big problem. Would they have launched their manifesto right ahead? It's either here or there. They could just be holding on to that until there's still a bit of time. Throughout next year, it's time for politicking. They could use the first quarter of next year and launch their manifesto. I think they just want to settle the teething problems they have found themselves confronting now.
Interesting.
Quickly for me is that the ADC holding on to the manifesto, I think they are strategic because of the reasons you mentioned and Eti mentioned, that they have a suspicion that the party is already infiltrated or they will run into headwinds or they will not even agree amongst themselves.
Okay.
So don't forget there is another party, whether QQ, AAA, whatever, they are trying to register somewhere in INEC. So they may hold on to the manifesto. We cannot bring out the manifesto in ADC
and then transport it to...
And then, so we want to wait. And that is going to play against them again.
Yeah.
And that being said, also for ADC, I said it in another forum, the strength of ADC, I did a SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats on all the political parties. And so far, like I said, the problem with ADC and PDP is their strength has become their weakness. In fact, including APC. And when your strength becomes your weakness, and you are not moving fast as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is working, because he recognizes that. So he has a better chance of a head start and the power of incumbency. And the sad thing is the PDP, AD, whatever, and all the political opposition are not able to realize that to move ahead on time and to align. And that would be the problem. Let me land with this. All those big names in ADC have no political capital because, like I told you, 10 or 20 out of them leaned and leased on President Buhari, who died with his vote. So they have no vote to bring anyway. And at the end of the day, it is that political liability will become a challenge. Not bringing Atiku alone as a northern figure to contest against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will play out the scenario of 2023 if they don't early enough tell Nigerians they have a solution rather than a personality. And that goes also to President to Excellency Peter Obi, because now he is moving around, whether it's Labour Party, whether it's ADP, whatever. He is not certain where he's going to play. And you can see the body movement of Dr. Baba Ahmed and some of his key allies, including Kenneth Okonkwo, are already breaking away. And that is not good for anybody.
Essentially with
yes, no matter how powerful you are as a politician, you want to keep your political assets. And that is why those that have won elections, like President Buhari, President Tinubu and others, have held political assets for a very long time.
Okay, we have just 1 or 2 minutes left, and I want us to treat this issue very quickly. Please, let's be very short about it.
I'll be very brief.
What is the implication for President Tinubu dropping Kashim Shettima? Quickly, let's be very quick, and then we'll close.
Implication is that the Northeast will be very unhappy with him. Unless he picks somebody who will counter that, it could be a very challenging proposition.
Okay, thank you. Just quickly, Madam.
Well, it's a catch-22 for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, dealing with Kanu to get Kanu, and the court notes that are becoming more disgruntled versus, dropping an incumbent vice president that is meek and amiable, but is coming from a region, especially a state or group of states that have this sense of pride that they don't toy with. You don't toy with the pride of the Northeast, and they can die trying. So it will cost him either way. But I think the safest play for him now is dicey, because he needs to ensure that he gets the northwest votes, which he's not sure he's going to get without Buhari, to do that. So he has to do the calculation to see.
Balancing.
Yeah, because, politics is not sentimental.
Yeah.
It is where he will get the major votes, sadly so. with due respect to Kashim Shettima, that he will pick his VP. At the end of the day, that is the permutation that works. Politics is a game of numbers, but you cannot discountenance anybody or any region, especially an incumbent VP like Shettima that is becoming very popular.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen, for those very insightful analysis. Madam Baba Yusuf and Mr. Etim.
Thank you.
Inside Sources will be right back with our conversation for the day. Welcome back to Inside Sources. For the interview conversation segment of the show today, I have an unusual politician, somebody who is a business leader in the oil and gas sector, who has ventured into politics. I'd like to welcome to Inside Sources, Mr. Tony Cole, MNI, a notable Nigerian business leader and the co-founder of Sarah Group. My brother, you're welcome to Inside Sources.
Laulu, you're looking too good.
Well, that's a new one. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, it's a pleasure.
So we normally start by me asking my guests, if you look at where Nigeria is today, do you think that we are heading for the future that most of us believe is the destiny of Nigeria?
You know, that's such an interesting question. Over the last 3-4 years, I've actually gone to what I'll call the founding fathers of the current democracy that we have, the military leaders who were presidents, who handed over. And I asked them this question. So when you were, after the Civil War, all young Nigerians discussing what democracy, what Nigeria would look like, do you think we're where you envisaged us to be?
Oh, wow.
I've asked this question, and without fail, every single one of them has said no. That we're not. Then the next question is, what went wrong? And that's a bit more sensitive.
Yeah.
Because it is more nuanced. Something went wrong. And you can tell in those questions when I ask that there's a deep desire to want to correct some of those wrongs. But their time is past. It's now for another generation, and the onus is now on us. What is our own vision for Nigeria? Are we going to be sitting down in another 20, 30 years, and the younger generation will be asking us this same question? And so the truth is that no, we're not where we are. There has been progress, but not the kind of progress that we should get. So I think that we have a very big task if we want to see the kind of Nigeria that we know we ought to be, but we're definitely not there.
Very interesting perspective. I like, that the fact that you've actually spoken to some of these guys, and this is their view. So how do you think we can make a difference? Now, you did say that it's now a new generation, but not everybody agrees that the old guys have given up. Of course, we just had 8 years of President Buhari, who was in his 40s, head of state, and then came back in his early 70s as president. So not everybody really believes that there has been that transition. But in a sense, you are right. I mean, the people like you are in politics, are younger people. So in your own view, how do you think we can, what are the things that we ought to do to change course?
One of the things is that I seem to sense that there's a very big disconnect between Nigeria as an entity and the ownership, right, of the changes, just ownership of making Nigeria better. We seem to have found ourselves in a place where it's every man for himself. So people are very individualistic about their progress in business, in politics, in education. You will pursue education for your own edification, not because you are pursuing it to make a difference
in the community.
For the community. Politics are found to be the same. Many people who I have encountered within the political space are primarily doing it for their own, whatever it is, their own agenda, their own interest. Not because there's an interest of the people, an interest of the nation. And so when you ask that question, for me, the fundamental shift is that can we begin to see Nigeria as an entity that we actually collectively own and belong to and want to see it progress? once we can shift to that, then maybe we'll be getting there.
Interesting. So what do you think it will take for us to shift? I mean, and of course, I think we get to that point. You are taking a very bold step, traversing from your many successes in business to go to politics, and you've been doing battle, since 2019. I mean, people like me watch you from the sidelines and commend your courage. What has to happen to make that mindset shift?
And again, another excellent question. And I'll just take life from even when I was in school, in secondary school, university. There's something that my father always used to say, and then I didn't like it because I was not those students that came first. And so you will hear the question that the person who came first, does he have two heads? So you know, I heard that. You heard it. That means you are very good.
Oh my God, I was just telling my wife this a few days ago.
But if you go back to the principle of what they are saying there, it essentially is saying that, look, there's an example of what good is.
Yeah.
There's an example of what progress is. And if you have the right example leading,
right,
then others will follow. If the example at the front is not good,
of course,
you have a problem. And so when we think about it, success and the following
right,
of a successful model depends on who is in front. Who are those that are leading? And are they carrying a sacrifice, a servant leadership principle? Do the people who are voting, the people who you are administering over, you are governing over, when they look at you, they look at your lifestyle, they look at the way you talk, the way you behave, do they actually see that you are for them? Or do they see that you are for yourself? If the question and what they see is that, you know what, you are for yourself, and that yourself is that you are really benefiting, what do you think they will do?
Yeah.
Their own mindset will be, let me to get there.
Yeah, and get my own.
That this is a channel for jollof, quick enjoyment. When I get there, I can do my own. And
very profound point.
We need to change that mindset. So the type of leadership, when God has blessed us to lead, then we need to reflect that, you know what, there are people who are watching.
Yeah.
And what are we portraying to them? If it's about largesse, if it's about just enjoy, then people will aspire to that. Not because they want to serve. And that's where the difference is.
Very, 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 very profound insights that you are offering. So, in your own experience in politics, I recall that you were the candidate in 2019 for APC Rivers State and also in 2023. 2019, you couldn't even be in the ballot, even though you had won the ticket. 2023 was a much different. How do you describe your encounters in politics? I imagine that some of these things are from there, but in more specific details, what have you seen? How will you describe the nature of Nigeria's politics and the nature of Nigerian politicians?
So there's nothing like a vacuum in life. If you decide that you're going to vacate a space, then others would come into the space. And I think one of the biggest problems that I realized as coming into politics was that many people who stay outside of politics and criticize politics do not even have any idea
what's happening
within the political space. So the first thing that I saw is that we needed to draw in more people who can come into the space to enhance and build that space. The Nigerian political space is very interesting. And I think it's the same all over the world, but Nigeria more so, in that every single decision that is made within that political space has a direct impact on you and I.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw. Yeah. Now, if you decide the best of the best, whatever you are, whether you are the best in economics, the best in business, the best in oil and gas, you go all over the world, you do the biggest business and all, but you stay out of politics, then believe me, whatever you get, you really cannot complain. And so, between 2019 and 2023, the two elections that I saw, one of the things that keeps me going is that I said, if people see that there is an ability to survive, ability to stay the course, then they too will be more interested in coming into the game. We need to bring a more diverse group of people into the political space. And that's the agenda that I'm on.
Pursuing. Interesting. Very, very, very exciting responses that you are giving us. So you are still in APC.
Yeah, I'm still there, focused.
Of course, I also served, as you know.
I know you do.
I served with the vice president. I don't consider myself a politician, and that's why, the courage of people like you and Professor Chibajo is quite very formidable. But I agree with you that we need good people. We need people who have this community sense and community value, public interest in the place. But if I ask you now, so what is the situation of APC in your state?
It's one of the most dangerous precedents for any democracy, what I have seen happen within the River State's polity.
Yeah.
And it should not be encouraged. What you should not encourage is being in one party, acting on another party, destroying this party so that you can build this one. It creates confusion in the minds of everybody. Everybody. We're a young democracy. Very young. 25 years in the scale of it. It's a very young democracy. Which means that we're going to be learning along the way. We'll make a lot of mistakes. And no problem with that. That's what life is. Human beings are to learn and all of that. But one of the things that you want to be able to create as you move along is what is the ideology with which one party stands for and another party does not. I believe that after this number of years, an ideology should be forming, whereby people should say, okay, you know what? If we're in
this
party A, these are the kind of things we should expect. If we're in party B, this is what we should expect. If we're in party C, this is what we should expect. And what that does is that it begins to draw people, of like minds into a space, and an ideology is formed around it. What River State politics is telling everybody is that forget all of that. Forget the fact there's nothing like party A, party B, nothing like that. What it is that it is purely about personal interests and where the personal interests can be served. If you can be served with one leg here and one leg there, fine. If you can be served with destroying this one while I'm still here, fine. Just do whatever you like, however you like it, whenever you like it, as long as the interest is served and power is retained. I think that's very, very dangerous.
It is.
I think so.
It is.
So power must be sweet and intoxicating to those who have it. It must be, but that is not what this should be about. We've been given a responsibility by human beings who voted for you, people who asked you to go and represent them, either as a candidate or whatever, and by God Almighty who gives power at the end of the day to any individual for whatever reason. That he chooses and says that, okay, you are the one, whatever reason. So we accept it. Now, the minute you have gotten into that space, the responsibility on you must be that, you know what, others who are coming behind, what
are they going to see? What am I showing them?
What am I showing them? I think River State has a lot of work to do. Because it's setting the tone for what we're seeing in Nigeria. And I don't think it's the right example.
It's not. It's not. So your membership of APC in Rivers State doesn't align with this. I'm trying to remember his name. The guy who used to be chief of staff to Wike, who is now the chairman of the party. I can't remember his name.
The point is that people are today we get up. I say we have resigned from PDP. We are all in APC,
and then
the next minute say,
no,
we're not in APC.
Actually,
we're in PDP.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think Rivers State is not a good case. It will be a good case study in a few years about what not to do.
But how do you think this is going to end up? This River thing. What's your own prognosis, if you have one?
It's difficult. It's very difficult to tell. We have to see where the governor ends up. On the one hand, a deal has been made, an agreement has been made, and all of that. So the governor comes back. Now, is the governor going to remain in PDP or is he coming to APC? Would he be in PDP but act as APC? What exactly is going on? Where would the house be and all of that? So I think Rivers State is still very, very open. It's still very confused, and people will require some clarity very, very soon. But that clarity can only begin to come to bear once the sole administrator has left, the governor has come back, and then we start seeing
what's the direction,
who is really in charge, who is really running Rivers State.
You know, which brings me to the issue, and you know, I will make a point that I've made again, but I want to make it so that you can make your own reaction. I think that the president has powers under the Constitution to declare state of emergency, but there is no place in the Constitution that gives the president the power to ask an elected governor or state assembly to go and sit down. You know, people say, oh, he didn't remove his suspension. You know, whatever it is, you know, I don't think the president has, I think it's an overreach of executive powers. What's your view about the state of emergency and the suspension of the governor in Rivers State?
You know, I've heard so many opinions from legal minds and no legal minds. Is it something that should have happened or should not have happened? Is it according to law or not according to law? I find it very difficult to determine whether that's what the law said or not, because I'm not a lawyer. It's very difficult to do. You have an attorney general that must have advised the president that this is the right thing to do. And I thought that if there was going to be a challenge on that, that we had very strong legal people who are advocates, who are activists, and all of that, who would challenge it. They wrote a lot, they said a lot, but nobody went to court on it.
Yeah.
Which leads me to think that...
No, I think the PDP governors actually went.
Then what happened?
But exactly.
What happened?
They eventually abandoned the case in the Supreme Court.
Yeah. So what happened? So I felt that, look, again, I say that we're a young democracy. So whether it's an overreach or not, whether it's tempting or attempting to test something that is not clear, which is what happens in politics.
Right.
You see something, you're not sure, is it left or right? You test it. But it's who pushes back against it that matters. In this particular case, you had PDP as a body. And you mentioned the PDP governors, it was their responsibility to say, no. This is an overreach. They didn't. As governors...
Well, they said, sorry, just so you know, they said they've been in court. The matter is in Supreme Court, by the way.
Okay.
But there has been no... they've not said... Supreme Court has not set a date. And, you know, actually, my guest last week, Professor Odikalu, said that, you know, it was their own responsibility as PD governors to make a political issue of the fact that we brought this matter to Supreme Court. You guys are not scheduling a hearing, you know.
So what does that tell you? You see, so for me, I don't think your opinion or my opinion matters in this case. What really matters is that there's a process. Political parties are set to check each other.
Yeah.
That's why they're there.
Yeah.
Governors are sitting down and looking at themselves and saying that, this can be me today.
I might be the next victim.
I might be the next victim. So is this something that I should leave hanging, or should we actually find out what it is so that we know how to behave moving forward? If I was a governor today, that's what I would be thinking about. I'll say, okay, you know what? If this is the case and it's not clear, why don't we test it? Not because I'm against the president or against what the process itself, but I would like to know clearly that this is what it says. By the time you get to the Supreme Court and push it, let's assume the Supreme Court comes back and says that it is legal.
Yeah.
He did not overreach. The Supreme Court will write a very clear judgment that now becomes what Constitution will carry.
Yeah.
Every other administration from now to the kingdom come until it changes will know that this is.
That's the precedent.
If it goes the other way and they say, Mr. President, you overreached, again, there'll be a reason for it. Then we will not be having this argument.
Yeah. You're very correct, and but one of the things that I noticed, and by the way, the Attorney General is, older than me, but all of us were in Ibadan. And what he said, when they asked him the day the president did that, was that, well, look, we have to put on our patriotic hat. Great man, somebody that I really admire. But, that wasn't the kind of response I was expecting. I was expecting him to say that, look, the president has the power to do it. But he said that, hey, we have to put on our patriotic hat. That what do you expect the president to do? Which goes back to what you said that, people are up and down over this.
I believe that recently we saw an article, the vice president made a comment because something like this apparently had happened before.
Yeah.
And there was an Attorney General, I believe it was Adoke at the time, under Jonathan, who had an opinion on this same matter.
Right.
And Jonathan
had to step back.
So I think, believe me, my own opinion is that this is something that needs to be addressed fully because it's a lacuna.
Yeah.
On the one hand, one Attorney General says you cannot do it. On the other hand, another Attorney General says that you can do it, albeit for patriotism.
Yeah.
One says you cannot do it because of democracy is not constitutional or whatever. We're now in that space. This is where the Supreme Court or the judiciary as a third arm of government comes in. Yeah. Their own responsibility is to interpret clearly what looks like opaque lacunas and address it. And it's up to them. We're waiting. You say it's in Supreme Court.
Exactly, yeah.
Let's wait and see.
Although it's taking so long to schedule a hearing, which is also indicative. So in your relationship, those of you that are in APC in Rivers State, do you have any kind of interaction with APC National, to talk about some of these things, some of these controversies, these contradictions in Rivers State? Do you have, are you able to conduit messages to the president, who is the leader of the party, about some of these things?
APC in Rivers State has its own factions as well. So there are factions within APC, PDP, APC. I'm not sure which one.
Somebody will say PDAPC. That is what, when we put it where that, we are evolving, 25 years.
Evolving.
Well, I wanted us to also talk about, as we are wrapping up, I wanted to talk about business. You are a guru in the oil and gas, especially energy sector. So I thought, we should also, get a few of some of your ideas, especially regarding oil and gas. We have some very serious problems in that important sector. There is oil theft. Even the level of productivity has been, so we are celebrating 1.5 million barrels a day. Come on, and then there are no investments. So how do you think we ought to recalibrate that sector, which is very important to our economy? A huge aspect of our foreign earnings is from there, and we all know it's the mainstay. What do you think ought to happen in that sector?
My answer would be that every sector in Nigeria is a reflection of what you see at the leadership political level. Okay? I found out over the years, wherever I went, that I cannot be ranked higher than my country's ranking. If my country is perceived to be poor, no matter how much money I have, When I go into any business meeting, they already look at me from where my country has started. This is something I discovered in business. And I discovered the importance then, and it's part of the reason why I'm in politics. I discovered that every country, no matter how small that country is, no matter how far they have in their own GDP ranking, GDP ranking there, if that country's ranking in terms of corruption, good governance, ease of business, if it is high, the businesses and the economy in that country is good. The biggest struggle that we have in Nigeria in attracting investment in business and all of that is that we first have to struggle from a very low place to even be seen, to be heard, before you now have to struggle to ask businesses to come, investment to come. It's unnecessary. So what needs to change? The first aspect of it, right, is that the mindset of government and the mindset of our economies and mindset of those of us in politics should be that what do we say and how do we project our country and how do we make sure that the rankings that people use when they're first going to determine where they're going to send money, that those rankings have to come up. When we looked at this, when I was at NIPS doing studies, every ranking that I saw in Nigeria for anything that we wanted to write in policy and all of that was abysmal. It used to just break my heart. You're sitting there writing a policy paper, you have to go into the rankings, you have to look for it. As soon as you look for Nigeria, anywhere you're looking for Nigeria, we are just somewhere at the bottom. Now, this for me, right, is the base. But everybody has a vision and a goal. And so I look at it and I just say, okay, this is where we are. If we wanted to address this thing, rankings and all of those things are very deliberate things that you can tick off. So you sit down and you say that what are the issues that we need to tick off if we want to increase our ranking in this? 1, 2, 3, 4 are the key things. You know what? You, Mr. Laudo, I'm going to put you in charge of this department. In 2 years, 3 years, I want you to have cleared these things. And once you clear it, you find out that the minute you start doing those things, money, business, it chases, you don't have to go running after money. Create the opportunity, create the environment, it will come and look for you. It will come and look for you. A few weeks ago, I was invited to Spain to come to the IE University there to come and discuss
In Spain?
In Spain, Madrid. So they paid for my ticket, paid for everything. He said, come, we have a group of sovereign wealth fund people here. They want to invest in Africa. They look at the rankings, they look at the map, they look at population, they look at economy, they look at all of these things. And they have selected, they want 4 countries, 2 in West Africa, 2 in North Africa, that they want to invest in. Senegal, Nigeria, Morocco, and Egypt. They have $13 trillion
To spend.
Wow. Not all of it is going to come to Nigeria, but they come to Africa, but they want to send, they're looking at the world globally. And they see that the place that needs the most in development and has the biggest opportunities is Africa, and that these 4 countries need the most. But they have a problem. I said, what's your problem? See, it's too opaque. They cannot see.
No clarity.
No clarity. So can I come and help them demystify this whole space so that they know how to bring the money and come in here? You know, the demystification and clarity for investment is not difficult. It's not difficult, but it requires very resolute determination from the top.
Yeah, it does. It does. And the president says that we are going for a $1 trillion economy.
It's very possible.
You know, but economists, I mean, based on our recent GDP, the first quarter of this year, I think 3.1 or so, and every economist said that, well, you know, at this rate,
we won't make it.
except we get to like 15%.
But you see,
Growth rate.
the truth is that all of those things are possible. But there are specific indicators that you have to look towards, and you have to be very determined that you are going to meet it. And it takes sacrifice, it takes some pain somewhere,
Yeah.
but most importantly, it's not about talking. It's not the talking that
Right.
changes it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
the doing.
Is it doing? Is it doing?
Is the doing. So when I'm sitting down and I'm looking at you, are you doing more than you are talking? Or are you talking more than you are doing?
Okay. Last question because of our time. I wanted you to do this. I know you're an APC member. You have experience in politics. You've made quite a lot of inroad in business. If you were to have an opportunity to say to the president after his 2 years, what do you think he should do with the remainder of the 2 years?
The first 2 years has been about very macro scale changes, big changes, whether it's in foreign exchange, whether it's in fuel subsidy, big major tax, very big things. What Nigerians care about now is that all of these big things must trickle down
To them.
to them in the pocket. The next 2 years, just take a step back and start figuring out, how does the man at my gate, how does all of this trickle to him? How does he feel that he's a part of this whole process called Nigeria and that it is making a difference in his life? That's what he needs to do.
Interesting. It's a very good place to put it. Mr. Tony Cole Hemenai, politician and successful business leader. Thank you for coming to Inside Sources. Thank you for your work. Thank you for believing in Nigeria enough to want to go and take a stick out your neck to fix it. Very, very commendable. Thank you for your contribution to national development, and thank you for coming to Inside Sources.
Thank you. I don't believe 30 minutes is gone already, but
It is.
time flies when you're having fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
And there you have it, another edition of Inside Sources. Like we always say, Nigeria will prevail. It means Nigeria will win because we won't relent. Thank you for watching. My name is Laolu Akonde, and by the grace of God, I'll see you at the next edition.